All right, so I decided to get some outside time today, picking up brush, and I had to locate a trash can lid and just kind of seeing where we're at. It's about time to do the final mow of the year, trim things up, get ready for winter. Then it's on to winterizing the house. I've got some firewood in places that I'm going to be hauling over in the next week or two. And down in the woods here, I got a tree that I've killed but left standing, and I'm going to see if that's still up and what it's going to take to fell that and segment it and bring it up. And that's an oak tree that I'm going to season for either next winter or the one after. So then I was looking around, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, all the poison ivy's pretty much dead now. You can see here it's doing the oak thing, but it's still there, but it's dying. And you can also see, there's a few places here you can kind of see some Virginia creeper too. But anyways, if I was to walk barefoot here, I might still get poison ivy. Not sure exactly what the lifespan of the oil is, but anyway, so like this thing here is a runner. That's kind of like the colony that I found, only this is just, and actually I think that maybe this is about where this colony lives anyway, so if I wanted to kill it, I think I could probably blanket that, but I'm not getting there quite yet. You notice it's that polymorphous leaf thing. You can see there's a little edge to the one and some of the others not so much, and you can see how these poison ivy leaves here kind of resemble some walnut leaves here, so it's another case in which they're able to camouflage when they do the, so you can see the mulberries here, they have a similar, sometimes the leaves aren't symmetrical, they oftentimes have a little ridge to it. They can be waxy and dark green in their prime, so you can see how these camouflage around them all. So anyways, the reason I'm making this video is I found my fire extinguisher. So the target was sitting about 3 yards closer when I shot it, but where I found the extinguisher was right there, laying that way, face down. To 9-10 feet ahead of that. That's some serious stopping power. I believe that was one that I did with the bear load, the 300 grain jacketed hollow point. Now you're gonna have to go back and review my videos from in the spring when I started this. That you can see I've been aiming for this thing for a bit. These are all the back holes. These are the fronts. How they come out and through. That one was actually a side rip. You can see what the entry did to the canister. So anyways, I was perpetually aiming for the little gauge. As you can see, it's not there. Now the first time that I got close to it, I made this indent. Let's let it focus. There we go, made this indent, you can see, just grazed underneath the handle. The other closest I got was this one. But obviously, the last shot that I took, and I don't know, the bullet may have bounced out. Oh, look, there's a bug hanging out on it too. Hello, bug. As you can see, the gauge is completely obliterated. I did not find any pieces of that, but obviously I hit the mark just about right on. Within an inch. And as I recall, this was one of my 40 or 50 yard shots. So I actually did manage to bullseye 50 yards with this, but I wasn't able to find out until I could find the target safely, because it seemed like it might have gone over here and not all the way down there. But regardless, all of this underneath was poison ivy and stinging nettles. So I was not about to go look for it. So anyways, as you can see, months ago, I did, during the shutdown, in fact, hit a 50-yard bullseye with my 44 mag lever gun iron sights, aiming for a device that was about this big right here. After many failures, I finally succeeded. I guess while I got you, we'll take a walk down and look at this oak tree. See here, I believe these are elm or walnut, not poison ivy, but I could be wrong. Most of the poison ivy turned red, not gold, but there's a lot of gold going on here too. Let's see what we got. Now these Siberian elms, this is another one that the poison ivy nicely can camouflage with, especially if you don't know. Similar, symmetrical, not exactly waxy. It's sort of a compound leaf, and you can see a bunch of red berries. And if you've ever seen poison ivy in bloom and in their seed time, they have a bunch of little red berries. They're not exactly the same, but a person who only knows green leaves and red berries is going to maybe think that's poison ivy, even if it isn't. It's got our elm trees actually still doing okay, even though it's dutching out. Trails. Before we get to that oak, we'll go over here. Looks like this is washing out a bit. See that white, oh maybe you can't from here. Yeah, white oak branch there. There's an old oak tree, a couple on the hill that the foxes use, and sometimes they hang out in burrows here. This was the people that owned the property probably 50 to some odd more years ago had basically just dumped all their junk down into this ravine and then filled it with soil, and a lot of it's washing out over time. So anyways, yeah, so if some of these critters that are able to live under there's sometimes there's like a river running straight through, some crap straight out of Indiana Jones, I guess. And then up here you can see the top of a sinkhole that also probably provides some air vent to the top that allows stuff to drain. A lot of big chunks of limestone here too. So it might be somebody's old foundation got tossed down. It's a darn shame. It's too much to get up the hill for sure. Alright, let's go check on my tree. Alright, that's it right there. And the hope is for it to basically just fall straight down this way once it does come down. There's a small branch on that oak to hit. Most of the rest of this should be okay. There's a cedar that's going to get in the way, but I think it'll survive. And I'll show you in a second, but this is kind of where I'm thinking it's going to fall to, I hope. Something close. These are all the Siberian elms. They grow fast, they die fast, depending. So as you can see here, this tree is completely dead. All of the moisture is withdrawn. It's browned out. It browned out months ago when I cut it, and these other ones are staying green because oaks do that. So basically what we got here is this spot. This has been cut through to about here. So we still got this to cut through before it falls. The wind's been blowing it, probably weakening it. It's been seasoning as it stands. The reason I picked this one was because it's got some kind of a parasite plant growing up the side of it. A vine or another tree that kind of goes up and in. So this is the dwarf tree compared to the others. You see this big old dead mama? We got many, many more, all oaks. It's a little change going on there, the reds versus the whites, I think. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, so this tree eventually will come down. This will be not this coming winter, maybe next winter, but probably the one after that for sure, because it's a hardwood and it does take a little while to season before it's really usable for firewood. So that's the plan. Also, the other thing being that this will barely affect the canopy. That was my other goal, is to not make big open spaces. I don't want forest clearings like that. If they're clear on the ground, that's one thing, but I want the trees to cover. So, yeah, we're going to call it good here at 10 minutes. And as you can see, the deeper into the woods you get, the greener it is. Closer to the sun you come, the more golden it gets.